let's talk about Hamlet. Today we're going to do something a little bit different than we sometimes do in these videos. I'm going to look at one theme in Hamlet, and especially look at just the early sections of the play, particularly Act 1, and focusing on the situation around the ghost. I'm going to walk you through what I do when I'm writing a paper focusing around a theme. The theme I'm looking at is verification. One thing you might be wondering is, how do you choose a theme? How I usually choose a theme is I look through the play I'm looking at and see what comes up, see what I'm noticing happening again and again. So repetition is a place that I look for themes. Another thing that I often do is if there's something that I'm thinking about myself, whether it's an issue that's coming up in my life or something I'm seeing elsewhere in the world, sometimes that will come to mind as I'm reading a text. In the last year, any mention of sickness or disease, contagion has really jumped out in the books that I've been reading. Even if those books have nothing to do with the pandemic, because I've been reading them in a pandemic, they seem pandemic related. Starting with the text, or starting with what I'm seeing coming up again and again in the text, or starting with a concept that I'm already thinking about and that I then see in the text, is how I often think about themes in a play. In Hamlet, verification is something that I see even in the first sentences of the play. Who's there? Nay, answer me, stand and unfold yourself. The play is starting with two characters waiting to change the guard on maybe on top of a battlement or something, and it's so dark they cannot even see each other. And they think they know who's coming, but they're so nervous they have to ask. And they each defer to the other person. No, you tell me who you are first. Bernardo says, "Long live the king." Bernardo? This verification shows a nervousness that they're experiencing, this fear, this doubt. Ghost that they already have seen in the past and they think might come again tonight, but they don't know. When Horatio and Marcellus come, there's the question. I think I hear them. Stand, who's there? Friends to the ground, and liegemen to the Dane. Give you good night. Is Horatio there? A piece of him. Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus. What, has this thing appeared again tonight? I have seen nothing. And I have seen nothing is such a cautious answer, right? It's not saying, yes, the thing has appeared, and it's not saying the thing has not appeared. Bernardo is only saying what he can actually prove, which is that he has not seen anything. Which brings up a whole little speech about verification. Horatio says, "'Tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him, along with us, to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it." He's saying, Horatio doesn't believe us, so I asked Horatio to watch, to see for himself. Verify our story. Horatio immediately says, "Tush, tush, 'twill not appear." He doesn't believe it. He's proving what they just said. They said, Horatio doesn't believe it. And then Horatio says, yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. After the ghost does appear, we have further testimony about this idea of verification. How now, Horatio, you tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on it? And Horatio replies, "Before my God, I might not this believe without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes. Is it not like the king? As thou art to thyself." So here we have this notion. Horatio says, I would not have believed this if I had not seen it myself. Didn't he look like the king? And he's like, he looked so much like the king. He looked like you look like yourself. Again, there's that doubt. As far as I can tell, it seemed to be the king. So that's a really interesting bit. So I'm going to skip over a bunch of things and go to after Hamlet has interacted with the ghost. There's a lot of other situations of verification. When Ophelia is sort of interrogated about her relationship with Hamlet, do you believe this thing that he says? You shouldn't believe it. I know better than you do what you should think. And we're going to come back to the first scene we see Hamlet. Let's talk about the second scene involving the ghost first. After Hamlet has seen the ghost, and the ghost has departed, and he's back with his friends Horatio and Marcellus, Hamlet doesn't know how much to tell his friends, because he's worried about how what he's seen will be revealed, right? If he tells, maybe he will tell too much. So in this question of verification, there's also this question of like disclosing too much information, saying more than you should say. How much can you trust the people who you are around? If you trusted the people you were with, you wouldn't have to verify what they said. You'd just believe them, right? So this question of verification goes hand in hand with this question of trust. After Hamlet has visited the coast, there's this whole exchange. Good, my lord, tell it. No, you'll reveal it. Not I, my lord, by heaven, nor I. How say you then? Would heart of man once think it, but you'll be secret? He goes through this whole elaborate thing where he's like getting them to swear, getting these promises from him. And there's this bit at the end that seems especially telling. He gets them to swear very specific things, right? As he goes forward after this, he's talking about the fact that he is going to behave really strangely, and they already know something about his strange behavior and might reveal it. So he makes this like elaborate, I need you to promise not only that you're not going to tell, but you're not going to like make it at all visible that you have something that you could tell. He says, here as before, never, like swearing again, never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you at such time, seeing me, never shall, with arms encumbered thus, or with his head shake, as, well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or if we list to speak, or there may and if there might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me, this not to do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you swear. It's like, what are you swearing? You're swearing not just that you'll hide my secret, but that you will hide the fact that you are hiding it. And why is he hiding it? He's hiding it because what people seem like on the outside is not necessarily what they are like on the inside. And that will bring us back to our first scene where Hamlet appears on stage, when the whole court is like decked out in celebration of Gertrude and Claudius's marriage, like the new king of Denmark. Everyone is celebrating except for Hamlet. The questions for him are like, why do you seem this way? Why are you looking this way? How is it the clouds still hang on you? Claudius asks, how is it the clouds still hang on you? Makes like, why are you still so dreary? Gertrude, like, minimizes his grief, saying, good Hamlet, cast thy knighted collar off, stop wearing black. Let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever, with thy veiled lids, seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou know'st 'tis common. And Hamlet replies, aye, madam, 'tis common. And Gertrude asks a question about how Hamlet is seeming, how Hamlet is presenting himself to the world. If it be, why seems it so particular with thee? Everyone at the celebration has mourned the death of the former King Hamlet. Why is young Hamlet being so different? Why is he wearing the black? Why is this? She's like checking in. It's a verification, right? And he replies, seems, madam. Nay, it is. I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother. 'Tis not just that I'm wearing black, nor the customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath. I love that suspiration of forced breath makes you force your own breath through your mouth. Yeah. No, nor the fruitful river of the eye, nor the dejected havior of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shows of grief that can denote me truly. It's like, you're seeing me wear black. You're seeing my sad face, the dejected havior of my visage, my tears, hearing my sighs. Like, these are all things that you are observing, you're verifying, like, ticking the boxes. Is this person grieving? There's shows of grief, he says. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play. But I have that within, which passeth show. These but the trappings and suits of woe. What Hamlet is saying is, you think you understand by observing me that I'm sad. What's with all this exterior, what's with all these sad things you're doing? And he's like, it's not that I'm doing sad things, it's that I am sad. And I am so much more sad inside than it is possible for you to perceive. Like, you see me and what I'm doing and how I'm looking and thinking, oh yeah, they seem sad. But he's saying, I have that within, which passeth show. Like, what I have inside myself is so much more sad than you are seeing that there's no comparison. By making this little bit at the end about Hamlet, about play acting, about an action that a man might play, he's foreshadowing a little bit of like the ways in which a play within the play is a means of surveillance, of checking out, of verifying a suspicion, but he's also getting the audience thinking about how they're observing, how they're checking. There are questions in this play that are left open. Is Hamlet mad? Or did Gertrude know? Or how complicit is Ophelia? And the play is setting up a way in which the characters in the play are all asking, is that true? How do you know? Let's keep watching. So some of the suspense of the story is built in the way these questions are articulated in the text. Super beautiful. Hope you enjoy reading this play, and I'm looking forward to our discussions. Thanks. Bye.